If we combine tech house with melodic themes, we have melodic tech house, a genre you could say John Summit is the main artist, where he combines clubby sounds, clubby vibes with emotional melodies and vocals, giving the perfect mix for a party or listening in streaming platforms when you're at home, for example. Do you want to know how to make the genre? Let's go. I'm gonna start with something basic, the bass line, and I'm gonna use this one. It's from my Soundbank Volume 2. Down below in the description you can get it. For the key I'm gonna use A sharp minor, and for the bass notes I'm gonna use F sharp, then G sharp, and then I'm gonna end with the root note of the key. But I'm gonna do something. So this way it's not that basic. As in the end this is tech house, we need some drums like claps, hi-hats and all of that to give that tech house rhythm. I'm gonna add first these claps. Now some hi-hats, and I like fast things, so I'm gonna add some shakers. Do you want a tip? Use a little bit of reverb in these drums. Now you can hear it a lot, but when you start adding a lot of sounds, you're not gonna really hear it, but you're gonna feel it. Oh, and as you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. This is my new studio that if you want to know how I build it and all of that, I have a full series on YouTube. And if you want to see the final studio video where I show everything, my gear and everything that I have here, subscribe. I'm going to add this ambient sound. It's quite melodic, so I'm gonna start having this kind of melodic tech house vibes. I'm a fan of drones, so I'm gonna have this one. And you have this vocal ambient sound from Arcade that is so good. Wow, sounds so good. If we check before and after, way better. Alright, but we want to make it more melodic because this is gonna be melodic tech house, right? So I'm gonna add an arp here that is gonna give more harmonies, a melody, blah blah blah. I'm gonna start just with a piano, and maybe we can do something like going to the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if we do the opposite from fifth to first? Dun 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 dun. I like it. And I'm gonna keep the same melody the whole time because this way we create a bit more tension. But of course, we need to change this sound. I've been looking through my soundbanks, and in the Soundbank Volume 1, I found this arp that I think fits so well here. Yes! Okay, but what I'm gonna do is separate this in two parts. What I'm gonna do is move this here, and the first part is gonna be like this, and the second one is gonna have the drums. But also what I'm gonna do is this is gonna be already the build-up. I'm gonna make a really short first breakdown, because in tech house what you want is the rhythm. You want really fast to go to the drops, to have that groove, to have that energy, and make people dance. As this is the build-up, we need the snare. And I'm just gonna make it go really fast like the shakers, something like this. And I don't want just the last part. But to keep adding the tension and the energy, as the snares are not gonna get faster throughout the build-up, I'm gonna use these two automations. One is just the volume, is gonna be increasing. Another one is like a filter, as you can see. So this way we add a bit of energy, just making the snares coming like closer to the listener. Of course we need effects. First I'm gonna add this impact that, as you can see, has an automation, right? Why is this for? This automation is this low cut. Why I want this? As you can see, we have the first impact and then we add that low cut. Why do I want this? Because this impact is gonna be together with the wrist bass. The wrist bass has already sub frequencies, and those frequencies are gonna clash with this impact. So what I'm gonna do is have this impact, don't have the wrist bass, and then low cut all that sub, so we add the wrist bass again. And then also these three effects. Alright, so basically we have already the break on the first build-up. Let's go directly to the drop, which is the important part. What do we need for the drop? The kick, super strong, a lot of sub, the claps. I don't know if you can hear this detail, but as you can see, this clap 11, this clap 11, number 2. Because as you can see in the waveform, this one is a bit longer than this one. It's really subtle, but what I'm doing here is that one clap is longer than the other. So this way is a little bit more different, it's not that static and steady. Then we need some hi-hats, the break ones. But here another tip: to make the drop sound stronger, fuller, brighter, blah blah blah, what I'm gonna do is add another hi-hat. So this way, together with this, the break one, we have this that is a bit wider, before and after. It's subtle, but it helps. And last but not least, the shakers. In tech house it's really important, the bassline. Here you need two things: a good bass rhythm and a good bass sound. Let's start first with the sound. For this I'm gonna have several layers. First I'm gonna have this sub bass, pretty strong, pretty aggressive. Then I'm gonna have this bass sound. It's gonna make it sound fuller. Another serum bass. This is gonna add more character and it's gonna make it stand out more. Another bass sound. As you can hear, this one is a bit wider, so we cover also a little bit of the sides and it's not completely mono. And finally this one. This adds a lot of character and makes it really aggressive. Of course, we need to use the bass notes we used in the break. Or maybe not, it's not compulsory. But of course, it's really basic. I want more movement. First, what I'm gonna do, I think it's just, I'm gonna have it like this. Why not? Then what I'm gonna do is maybe add a note here in between. And then maybe here we can do like tun 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 tun. What I'm gonna do is chop it. I think this is gonna work well. But this is really boring, you know? If we just add this here with sidechain, it's not bad, but it's really basic. So what I'm gonna try is to add some swing. What this is gonna do is take some of these notes, usually these ones, and move them a bit to the back, a bit to the front, differently, depending on how much swing you use. So with the swing to the max, this is way too much, of course. We can do something like this, but I think I'm gonna do it manually. Look, I'm gonna do it like this. The whole time is the same, okay? But I made the notes a bit shorter, so this way I can feel more a bit this rhythm. And as you can see, this one is a bit to the right, and also this one a little bit to the right, but a bit more than this. But my advice is for the sub bass, don't have this kind of rhythms. For the sub bass, try to have longer notes, okay? Because this way you're gonna cover way more the sub frequencies. I'm gonna exaggerate this even more with this volume shaper. Without and with. I forgot to have the sidechain in the sub bass, sorry. Alright, but here comes the thing. We want to have melodic tech house, okay? So what can we do here? We can just add the melody since the beginning, but this for me is gonna be a bit boring. What I like to have is a song that keeps evolving the whole time. What I'm gonna do is first have a drop that is quite raw, you know, that starts more like tech house, and slowly add more melodies, add more emotions and more harmonies and so. So what I'm gonna do is take just the first bar and repeat it like this. But what I want to do is that in the second part of the drop, we go down in the notes so we can hear a difference and we can hear more kind of harmonies. Because if we have something like this, we don't really hear that there's a difference because actually there's no difference, right? So what I'm gonna do is instead of looping the first bar, I'm gonna loop the third one because also is the root note of the key, so it feels better. We hear the difference since the beginning. And you know, as you can see, here we can see the notes of the bass. We have the swing that we added before. What I'm gonna do is have the hi-hats also with this swing. So this before and this after. It has a bit more swing also with the shakers. Last but not least, on the drums, in the second part of the drop, I'm gonna add more shakers. So we add a bit extra energy with more drums. So we have this. Okay, so now we need the melody. Of course, this is melodic tech house, we want a melody. With this, I'm gonna be quick. I'm just gonna use this melody I have here, okay, and this synth. But this is only gonna be for the first 8 bars of the drop, the ones that are more kind of raw, more kind of tech house. For the second part, where we add the bass progression, what I'm gonna do is change these notes. Basically, what I'm gonna do is, for example, take this one and make it higher, and this one not that high. So now we have this. More melodic, right? To make it a bit more interesting, I'm gonna add some ear candy in the synth, and what I'm gonna do is here, as you can see, here we have this tremolo, and then we have it again. So in the second one, I'm gonna make it go left and right. As I said, I like the song to evolve a lot. So I'm gonna take this sound, and I'm gonna use this mod to add more evolution to the song. And then, in the second part, we have it way more open. So this way we keep building, we keep giving energy to the song non-stop. Okay, so we start with the melody quite raw, then we add a bit more emotion to the melody, changing the notes and opening the filter. What can we do in the third part of the drop? Because yes, this drop is gonna have 3 parts. Well, what we can do is add another layer. And I also wanted to keep going up and opening the sound. This one is not that obvious, but adds a little bit of touch. Finally, we need to add some more ambient, some more emotions, and so what I'm gonna use is some vocal drones and brass tabs and things like this. But for me, this is not enough. I want more harmonies, I want more chords, I want to make it sound fuller, more epic, keep building up all the time. So I'm gonna take these 3 chord sounds, that basically is a synth, another synth, giving a bit more body, and some choirs. So this is with and without. And what we can do here is the same as we did with the synth. In the main lead synth, what we did is to add another layer in the third part of a drop, right? So why if we add more chord sounds in the third part of a drop? So the chords also evolve. Just this one. That I decided to add this extra note that gives a lot of harmony, makes it so beautiful. And then this one. Together with the main chords. Last but not least, what we need to make this a bit more emotional, but also more kind of for streaming platforms, for radio style, is to have a vocal, of course. I'm not gonna complicate on this for this tutorial. I have a lot of tutorials about vocal processing, about choosing the best vocals and all of that. But I'm gonna have this vocal that I pitched up to fit the key. And I add a bit more reverb. And this vocal actually is gonna be in the drop. So this way we add a bit more kind of singable thing to the song to make it a bit more catchy, more easy to remember. In the end, this is everything you need for melodic tech house. Then from here, it just depends on you. You can add another break after this drop. You can add the kick to this break so this way the people keeps dancing. You can make the drop longer if you want to. Or also you can just forget about the raw part and just have all the melody since the beginning. It just depends on you. But well, if you want more tutorials like this, just let me know in the comments. I will make more. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like. And this, guys, is the end result. By the way, this is my song Africa Firefly. Is out everywhere. You can listen to it in Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere, and also download it for free. So enjoy.